Holy moly. Just saying, you guys, it's rough when you got down here is a little man. He's running around. Up there is Miss Rachel. So I hope that you guys. Oh man, what a week last week though. Hello, always. Oh my god. These guys. I cannot put your questions or comments up there. Good God. But anyways, what's up, Midwest in the house? Patrick, happy St. Patrick's Day to Patrick. Congrats. I sent the link to my boy Amp a little bit late because I'm running around like crazy right now. Did you guys see my stream on Friday? If you haven't seen, I did do a stream on Friday. Like midday, go to the channel. There he is. Go to the channel and take a look. But I said something, and I don't know if you caught it. If you didn't catch it, I think we're done going down. I think that we're done going down for right now. Yeah, and yeah. Hood is off to a great start for the week. I don't really want to look. I know Tassie's not doing. Oh man, Hood new high 41.44. Woo! You know, like it's crazy what 2 weeks can do in the market. I'll tell you that much. I oversized my Hood position. I added like stupidly, way down there, and I trimmed what I added. But it was only it is still my biggest position, but it's only because like I'm like, wow, all right. I think, of course, the lady's calling, and I think that I think we're gonna go up. I think we're gonna go up until tariffs next week. Maybe, right? We'll do a couple checks. If you guys have requests, go ahead and send them in the chat. Tassie is the one that's got to get off its rocker right now. Apple, I really don't care. 209 towards the downside. Yeah, I mean, I did add at the lows. Oh, there's Amp. What's up, dude? He's coming in. Amp is here. Good morning, my soccer guy. He has no audio. He says, wait, I'm not waiting.
Wait, I'm coming.
He's in. I added at the lows, but I'm telling you what, I added too much at the lows, and I'm like, yeah, it could be crazy because you never know, right? The market can stay irrational longer than you can stay liquid. That's true. But I honestly think that we are due for bounce. Now the question is, where's the question is, yes, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Today's 317. It was Friday, man. I said Friday. We're done going down. Did Emp lose weight? I don't know. It's the beard, dude. It's the beard. This guy is trying to get. Look at this guy. What is he? Hey, this little Sharky hoodie, dude. Where are you going? Anyways,
Baby shark, dude.
He's trying to get on camera. But anyways, yeah, I think we're going down. I think we're done going down. I think we're going up now. If you don't know, so markets don't go directionally, like always in a straight line. The question becomes now, well, do we go up for a dead cat bounce? A nice dead cat bounce, by the way, I have in the cards. Or do we go back up to all-time highs? I don't know. But I will say, the market's gone sideways for a little bit. I think it was Monday. We'll take a look. Monday, we moved it was like a crazy move. I'll just do a quick screen share right now. This was my thumbnail for the day, because as an investor, dude, this has been crazy. I'll tell you what. But for a day trader, it's like, okay, money time. You never know what you're gonna get. Happy St. Patrick's Day, by the way.
Let's go. That's my holiday. Finally.
It is. That's why he's in green. And this is where we've been, right? So from a seasonal pattern, not that we trade off the calendar. Good God, Robinhood. Do you guys see Robinhood's? I didn't do a big recap today, but so I'll have to do this live. But yeah, from a seasonal perspective, we actually are right where we should be, kind of like right by the bottom, right? And so that's typical. The question is, if we bounce, do we go see all-time highs, or do we go right below all-time highs and come all the way back down for a lower low? That's the real question, right? So I'm going to do a quick recap on last week's economic calendar, and the EMP, if you want to jump after this, then we'll hit next week. So let's see. Last week, consumer inflation this is just expectations. So consumers are expecting higher inflation. JOLTS coming in. This is job openings. So we're actually still hiring, which is interesting. Quits coming in a little bit hotter. So that's a little bit of an offset. CPI. So we got CPI on Wednesday, which is the actual inflation number. That's the market's favorite measurement, not mine, but it's theirs. The year-over-year core came in at 3.1. Consensus was 3.2. So that's actually good. Month over month, right here, headline 0.2 versus 0.3 expected. That's actually really good. Core month over month 0.2 versus 0.3 expectation. Both really good actual inflation numbers. So what happens here is the question, and then we got PPI right after, which is a 0% at the headline, negative 0.1% PPI inflation at the month over month core. Jobless claims good, everything looking good. So the market's not really worried about inflation, right? That's what's true. So the numbers are coming in good for inflation. So why did we still kind of sell off? And I think the question is, oh my God, the boys behind the hey, this is a problem. Hey, get out. He's behind the rat's nest of wires. Oh my God, I can't even get him. Hopefully he doesn't unplug anything. I'm actually really nervous right now. So sorry if something happens. This is bad.
Welcome to parenthood.
This is bad. When I hand it over to Emp, I'm going to have to run around and get him. But so inflation's not an issue, right? Consumer sentiment, right, comes in just absolutely like ruthlessly low, right? And I think that's this consumer sentiment number came in. Oh, he's pulling my mouse. Thank you. Oh, that's what it is. Consumer sentiment comes in insanely low, probably the lowest since the 2022 lows of that bear. That was a bear market, by the way. Very, very close to, if not right on. And so the question is, oh my God, does he knock over a light or not? That's the real question. But the question is growth. And that's what's true. You guys, thank you. I'm sorry. This is so bad. So the question is growth. And so why did we see what we saw in the markets? That was gold, right? So when we looked at what's happening in the markets, what we saw was that they weren't running to SPY. They weren't running to the Qs. Money was not, just follow the money, right? And we saw, where's the money going? The money's going to gold. And why would the money go to gold? It's only really like a stagflationary type environment, which is inflation coming down and growth coming down. So it's a growth scare. That's what's true. So what you're seeing in the market is why, and when you think about it, it makes perfect sense. Why do we see the crazy momentum names just flying like crazy, right? Or like completely coming down, right? Crazy momentum names coming down. And gold, by the way, just absolutely ripping to the upside. It's because if we have inflation coming down and growth potentially at risk, that's stagflationary, right? And so that's the question. So now it's up to you as the investor. Do you believe that we are going to have a legitimate growth scare? And if so, that is a bit of a stagflationary environment, or do you not? And do you call BS on this whole thing and just short gold to the ground? Because I don't really know, right? But that would be the trade. Just saying, if and why you guys know I've actually been short gold here and there, had to cover, but it's because I know some people are actually scared about the growth, but at the end of the day, the sell-off is on fears of what could be, what might be, what may be, right? Potentially, possibly, if they, maybe, who knows, right? But so far, we've yet to see real numbers come in and support any slowing growth. So that's really where we are. We have NVIDIA's GTC kicking off today, and actually, that's a probably perfect segue. I'm going to hand it over to you. I'm going to turn my video off for just a second before he knocks something over. And
wait, I'm watching Miss Rachel. Don't turn off my video
sorry,
feed.
and I'll come right back though once I get him. But if you can go over the catalyst for this week, and then when he comes back, we will check in with Miss Cleo. But let me get this boy behind me. One sec. All right, Em. So it's all you, man.
All right. Well, here is shout out Lux Algo, of course. Those of you that tune in each and every week, you know that Lux Algo puts together this wonderful catalyst watch that we go through, and a lot of times they catch like one or two things that maybe paper or I miss. But first cover page here, or opening tweet, I guess, for the thread. What does Jerome Powell have in store for this FOMC? And then pot of $3,000 an ounce gold. Is that a bear market? Yeah, so we did see gold, at least gold futures, hit that 3,000 mark as well. Be ready for it. There, of course, St. Patrick's Day. Beautiful job by the Lux Algo team getting Jerome Powell as a leprechaun. I love that. So we'll go into it Monday. This is today. We've already been through pretty much everything on here, I guess. Actually, everything on this list we've already gone through. Nothing really big on my radar. But Tuesday, we'll get into tomorrow. So you see, we do have building permits and housing starts. That will be interesting. We have import export prices. Couple little short-term auctions. The 20-year auction might be interesting, might give us a little volatility, but the big thing paper was just mentioning NVIDIA CEO, that's Jensen Huang, at the keynote 1 p.m. tomorrow. So you see right here the keynote of that GTC conference at 1 p.m. tomorrow, Jensen Huang.
I thought because the conference kicked off today, I honestly thought it was today, but I was dead wrong. So tomorrow is the keynote for sure.
The keynote, yes. So, and it is Jensen on stage. He loves to. He's a good entertainer too. When he gets on stage, he's a good watch for sure, and he likes to pump some things up, I guess, and he gets real excited. So, it will be interesting to see that tomorrow. And then let's not skip over this right here. Here, let me hit show more here. But let's not skip over this right here. Japan interest rate decision. That could be very, very interesting. The a lot of I mean, we know the yen carry trade thing that was going on and is still going on in some aspects, but the yen and the movement of the yen has been very important and very correlated. So let's keep our eyes on that for sure with Japan's interest rate decision tomorrow. Earnings are going to be very light this week. So XPAV, BTM, not a whole lot there. Now Wednesday, you see three spices through here. That's a triple spicy. That is the Diablo sauce on Wednesday. We do have early in the day, we've got some EU CPI inflation numbers. I don't think anybody's going to care about any of this stuff until we get a dot plot paper. We get a dot plot with the FOMC. So the rate decision comes out. The probabilities are no cuts, right? Very, very, very high probability that we hold where we're at, but it's going to be the commentary from Powell going forward, and also the dot plot. What does the dot plot look like? It's been 3 months basically since we've gotten one. It'll be very interesting. I think it'll be very interesting to see where that dot plot is at. So very spicy day on Wednesday. Thursday, well, some EU stuff here. The England England interest rate decision. So watching them, what they do, I don't think that's a big deal. Honestly, I think the Japan interest rate decision is probably much more important. Just how it affects our markets. Jobless claims, so we'll get that. That'll be a continuing talking point, I guess. Philly Fed manufacturing data as well. Existing home sales, maybe not really. 10-year tips is not as big as the normal 10-year auction like we had last week, but we do have some big earnings. There's 4 companies over 100 billion market cap reporting on Thursday. Couple in the morning, couple in the afternoon. Micron, FedEx, Nike, some big names reporting on Thursday. So even though earnings season is basically over, it's a lot slower right now. Nike's a pretty big one. FedEx, how are shipping things doing, and then Micron. You got to have memory to run all this stuff, right? So there's some interesting earnings coming up there. And then Friday is very, very light. Not much going on Friday as far as this goes. Now Friday is triple witch, quad witch, whichever camp you're in. It's weekly, monthly, and quarterly options expiration. So futures are rolling over that day. Your quarterlies. So you'll see a lot of maybe some erratic price action intraday, as you see a lot of positions getting rolled out, closed out, and reopened, and other strikes. But it shouldn't affect things in the big term. But if you are an intraday trader, just be aware you do have some intraday volatility and erratic price behavior on Friday, but nothing else. We do have our first Fed speaker post FOMC, so that's always interesting because Powell will come out and make his comments, and then you usually see a couple Fed speakers come out either Friday or the following Monday and kind of clarify some of the thoughts and what's going on with the dot plot and stuff as well. So I will be paying attention to Fed Williams' comments on Friday morning, but that about does it for the watch list here, the Catalyst watch for the week. Shout out to Lux Algo and their team for always putting that together. And Paper, I'll throw it back over to you.
Appreciate you, man. So yeah, so this is the earnings calendar for now. I just pulled up earnings up really quick. So PDD, by the way, does on the Lux Algo Catalyst Watch, they have, I think it's this week. I don't know what day it is, but isn't there a big announcement, stimulus announcement planned for China?
There was news overnight.
I think there's
30
the
bits or
actual.
something, but it's a continuing ongoing talks over there. I haven't really kept up with the full headlines of it, to be honest. I don't do a whole lot with the China names, but I kind of just am aware of what's going on over there. But some of those charts are actually starting to look pretty good, as bad as I'll say. I
Okay,
don't
so
want to say
China.
it,
So I see China loan prime rate. No, I don't see anything on the calendar. Buyback start. Walter, do you mean buybacks for equities? It's possible. Yeah, and right now we have April 2nd, I believe, also is the big day for tariffs. So we'll see. It could be a little shaky. This is where we are, but I told you guys that we would stop in with our good friend Miss Cleo. So let's go ahead and take a look. So this is okay, legit. I haven't seen this at all. Right. So we have the Queen. What is this? Queen of Swords. Are you guys okay with this layout? I actually don't. I kind of like this layout. Like I have up there. And then can we switch it? I don't know if that switches. Queen of Swords for the theme card. Not too shabby. Queen of Cups. That's today. Usually pretty good. And by the way, I don't know. I saw TrendSpider send something out earlier this week, and I'll pull it up in a second. Queen of Cups for today. 6 of Cups. Ooh, that's backwards for tomorrow. Page of Swords is Wednesday. That's FOMC day. 9 of Cups. Lots of cups going up. And then I really don't know what to make of that. Then the Hangman upside down. So I have not read any of this. I have no idea. China news from overnight. Okay, yeah, maybe. But let's see. Theme card. So this is what she has to say. So the theme card is the Queen of Swords, Ace last week to Queen this week. This doesn't give us much. Instead, I prefer to draw attention to the crypto. I hate when she talks about crypto, man. And I'm not talking about crypto. Showing we have both the King and the Queen of Swords holding court at the same time. I don't know what that means. This means that correlation between crypto and equity markets may grow even stronger this week. Okay. Like the King, she tends to bring mean reversion. That would be good. That forces markets to chop around rather than trend. That would not be good. However, she does have a positive bias. So that could bring a sign, could be the sign the bulls need to buy this dip. All right. We shall see. Monday, Queen of Cups often appears during times of weakness. Yes, that's today. In order to help us keep our emotions steady and avoid panic. We drew her last Friday, though, and she reversed. helping bears cope with the massive market squeeze that ended the week. All right. In fact, it was funny is like everybody's like Friday was so great, but like at the end of the day, Friday we didn't really even go anywhere. Like the whole week was basically sideways.
The whole
Look at
day
the
we didn't
charts.
go anywhere. The move was the full moon. I tried to tell you.
Yeah.
The full moon moved us up, and then we just chopped in the same like tiny range, literally for 5 hours on Friday afternoon.
Yes, literally. Drew, in fact, queen to queen could bring an exact replica of last Friday's action. We should know rather quickly. Okay, yeah, well, it was up. If we fail to gap up, we can expect a day of rallies that get sold, boo, and weakness that feels difficult to navigate. Nah. Tuesday, 6 of cups, queen to 6 means we're going backwards and suggests mean reversion. This fits the card's theme, which is reminiscing and thinking of earlier days when times were easy and stress-free. Well, I don't expect a super bullish day, but we will face some difficulties here and perhaps feel a surge of frustration or jealousy. Look to sell rallies. Okay. Wednesday's Page of Swords. A page takes us back to royal energy. Really? Okay. Page takes us back to royal energy and may signal a restart. He carries the sword of the theme card, which may magnify his effect. Look for mean reversion. This is FOMC day. Yeah. So this is GTC Jensen day. That's backwards. Jensen takes us backwards, then Powell takes us forwards. I don't know. Mean reversion with a strong chance of trending. If Tuesday was negative, then this could be a very good day for the bulls. Expect to target a major support or resistance level and attempt to take it out. I think maybe that might happen Tuesday, which would be
Somebody told Jensen that he needs to move that conference up to today, and NVIDIA's making new lows.
Friday was the best day of 2025. Yeah, possibly, but like we'll look at the charts and I'll
It's a debatable point there. I know where you're gonna go with this. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I guess if you're talking about from where we closed to where we closed, for sure. Thursday, did we do Thursday? No. Theme card. Like I said, in the theme card reading, this looks like a week of back and forth. So it's no surprise to see us going back to the cups and right in between queen and the 6. This guy usually reveals greed, and as a result, rallies are usually sold back to flat or thereabouts. He also tends to reverse the prior day's direction, so a great day on Wednesday could bring a crappy day here. The most likely scenario is a close within 0.5% of the open. Wow. Friday's the hanged man. We take a voluntary pause so that we may move forward in the future. Here we can expect some negativity, with the bulls' best hope being a flat day or thereabouts. We usually see continuation here and the potential for a negative trend. I'm not saying to get short, but there could be a decent momentum trade here if things start moving early. All right. So the recap is it's a week of back and forth price action with a mix of chop and trend days. It's not a week for swing trading. The thumbnail is the thumbnail for a reason. I'll tell you. It's not a week for swing trading. It's either day trading or buy and hold. All right. So this thumbnail, by the way, I use every year at the beginning of March, just so you know. I didn't make this year, and it's because every year we actually get to this exact same spot right here. And if you didn't know, I have a February thumbnail that I forgot to use this year, and it's like heartbreak for Valentine's Day because seasonally, that's what happens. So what I would say here is that we can chop, and I think that's very likely. I will. Can I go over VRVP? We'll take a look. So here's what I'm saying. So this is Friday's candle right here, and I'm like, was it really the best day? I mean, only if you measure like from the prior close up to the close, it's maybe 2%. But like in its own right, I don't even know. It's hard to say. Like that's over 2% day. That's February. I don't know. It's not even that big of a candle. So no, I don't. whatever headlines. What is this? That's a 2.5% candle. That's December. Look, we're only a couple months in. It's this candle does not really like stand out like crazy to me by any means. And what I was saying is like we really didn't go anywhere. If you're just looking at Friday's price action, and this is Friday, if I get this replay to work, hopefully I don't glitch out here, guys. This is kind of where we closed. This is literally Friday's close, and it's not really anywhere. So from a weekly perspective, when I say I think we're done going down, doesn't necessarily mean we're going up yet. I think we will, but not today. I think we can base out this week. That's ideal. But you know, over 551, that was my downside target. And we're not going down below that, at least not yet. The second that we do start to get there, that's this NFP. So I just turned on my NFP levels for you guys. So 551.58. I think that 555 is going to be like the intermediate crucial level, which we didn't even get close to touching. So this week, actually, if we do see a 555 type retest, I think I'll be a buyer, right? And that would look like this kind of retest. And at that point, you know who's going to come out here is all these pattern people, and they'll be like, "Oh, retest for your inverse head and shoulders." And honestly, that would be quite literally ideal, which fits with Miss Cleo's kind of sentiment right now. The thing about, are we going to go up? Look, so it's 556, 565, 60, this blue line. I'm going to take these NFP levels off. It's going to get a little choppy here, but it's not going to be until we have really like a daily open and close over, and I'm just taking some of these things off, over 565. Then I think we go higher. Where's the first stop? And this was the first. These are kind of like your trading ranges. And this is what I did on Friday. It's like this one first. I think that's got to be your first stop. And then after that, second stop's way up here, 590s. That's a long ways higher, right? But from there, that's where you got to stop, right? If we get these bounces, you really have to stop literally right there, because at that point, I do think that, look, we go sideways. You can probably take some profit. And the next move from there is going to determine whether or not this is just a dead cat bounce, or if we actually go beyond to all-time highs. But even then, you still got to be very cautious. So I'm okay with these little bounces for now. I'd like to see 555 hold. It's really good to see hoodie back over the $40 right now. We had a big, there's a big release. So they're doing now March Madness brackets on Robinhood, which would be wild. Right. And this orange box here. This is an average week's range. I'm just going to take it back really quick. So where we are right now, this is the weekly level. That last area here was that prior real breakdown, 2 prior breakdowns, right? So I think we have to at least retest that prior breakdown level, which was 575 on SPY. If we do lose 551, well, or call it 555, between 555 and 551, then yeah, I think, you know, we're probably going to go a little bit lower, but we're not even really close to that right now. So for me, I'd rather be like kind of picking it up, right? Like buying. And that as a comparison, I know the macro was not even remotely similar. I don't even remember what the macro was here. I don't think it matters, but just to compare it to 2022, what that bear market looked like, it's a 12% decline from all-time high to lows. Very similar setup from a simple moving average perspective. And we had a lot of chop right in here, but from the low to the high, it's another 13% before we sold off again. 13% counter trend rally. So that's, I think, what I'm looking for right now is a solid counter trend rally. But I won't see that happening quite yet until we're over 565, like a daily open and close. That's this little blue line right here. So we're very close. Qs are similar. It'll be tomorrow, really. Q is very similar, right? It's actually, this looks good right now. Yeah, 465 was the level in the Qs, but I think this can be choppy from here. I'm just gonna do a couple other things. Someone asked about the 10-year. I'm gonna look at TLT as this is like 20-year plus. TNX is the actual 10-year yield. This yield coming down, which means that bonds are, I think there's still concern, right? I think my point is that it's not like go out and over leverage anything, but whatever this is, I think we base out, and ideally, when does earnings start again? Earnings season start again? May? Around May, probably. Late April, May. Let me just get here. If the concern is growth,
It's like mid-April.
15th,
We
yeah.
got a bunch of announcements this morning, like Bank of America and some of those when they all start. It's the midweek of April.
Yep.
Your banks are going to start on April 11th, and then like Netflix is that next week, the week of the 14th through 18th, and then you really get going late April.
Yeah. So we have earnings season coming mid-April. If it is a growth scare, I think that ideally, like that fear kind of goes away a couple weeks before then. So between now and maybe April, it could be kind of choppy. But I don't want to I don't think like crazy new lows. I don't see it happening right now. At least not this high. We'd have to be a lot closer. So it's going to be up to Jensen tomorrow and J Powell on Thursday. And there was one thing I was going to take a look at. Is TrendSpider. I have to pull up their tweet, see if I can find it. They tweet a lot, so I can't really see it. But there's been this crazy trend where like Monday low. There it is. I found it. So this is random seasonal, right? So clear seasonal pattern 2025. I saw this and I was like, this is totally legit. Mondays are historically weak, right? So far this year, with Wednesdays being the strongest. In the playbook, buy Monday's dip, sell into Wednesday's strength, and watch for a pullback into Thursday. And that's what this average day of the week ends up looking like. This is, I mean, have you guys noticed this? Have you noticed this yet, Emp? But think back and you look at the charts, totally supports it. Very much like buy Monday's dip and then sell into Wednesday's strength and then potentially look to nibble at it again. But it's funny,
It's Monday, Wednesday,
so
Friday.
here's
That's the current bell curve.
Yeah, Monday week, right? Tuesday, so buy Monday's
Except the
dip. Wednesday
last
here.
2 weeks have been a little off, but
Yeah.
yes.
Well, Wednesday here, big green day. Thursday dips. Friday comes back. Monday, big weekday. So today is Monday. We're not seeing a big week Monday like we had in the past because we've been having this Friday sell off. Maybe this is Monday week, right? This is all of February. But Mondays have been like our big red days that extend a little bit into Tuesday, get bought up Wednesday, sold off a little bit on Wednesday, and then Friday dip gets bought slightly again. And that series really has just kind of like culminated right here, and we're not having a big sell-off Monday so far. So no case of the Mondays. Hopefully, unless you're Tesla's definitely got a case of the Mondays going on. But yeah, this is where we're at. Import export data. Jay, I'm not buying this at all. I'm just not buying that at all.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah, no, I don't think the market gives a two craps about it, dude. I mean, exports, yeah, we were positive. Honestly, it's going to be more than 2 months. Like you're going to need more than 2 months of this, right? It was the highest.
Well, how does it matter until we know what tariffs are anyway?
Yeah. I think that's somebody else pumping that. I don't think that's important. I appreciate you, man, Savage. Awesome. Yeah, is it worth modeling possible April 2nd retaliatory? So no, this is where I think is it worth modeling? So that 2-week rally, right? That 2-week bear market counter trend rally was 7% or something like that. It only took 2 weeks. So it could happen. And then we kind of go sideways and sell off. What's true is that, I talked about like my family trust funds and stuff, and it's like, you know, there are two types of investors in the market participants, really, right? So the truth is that some are younger and are all about like creating wealth creation, right? That's like get Palantir in early, Robinhood in super low, buy as much as you can and ride it, right? And then there's a whole nother cohort of market participants that are like wealth preservation and wealth planning, right? And what's actually also true is that you only need to get rich once, right? And so you got to realize that there are a lot of other people out there in the market that are like, dude, I need to preserve my wealth rather than like be in creation mode. And so, I think never be fully in, never be fully out. Always have ammo to buy the dip. If we get another dip, great. I'm a buyer. But I'm a buyer with a caveat of I still have a lot more ammo left to shoot if we continue to go lower, right? So I put myself in that position now because I was overly leveraged, like exposed, not really leveraged to the upside. So I needed to free up some cash to buy the dips, right? Like, so I think you need to have ammo available at all times. To expect the market to constantly go up, I think is crazy. It's just not what happens. But this is a good spot. It's been a good spot to take a shot with volatility the way that it is. Look, the VIX was closing in on, I want to say 30. What was it? Yeah, look, closer to 30.
29 and a half.
Yeah, 29 and change. What happens is that you overshoot. Like I had 38 as my downside target on Robinhood. We got to 33, right? I had 250 on Tesla. We got to like 210, right? With the VIX this high, that's what happens. You overshoot. The bounces will also be equally high, right? And so the bounces can be equally violent, and then they can retrace considerably as well. So expect a lot of that chop. And I think that for March, that's exactly what you should expect. So for me, it's more about accumulating net shares, if that makes sense. Like I'll buy a little bit lower, maybe not. My problem is I bought too much and I was too overly convicted. Still huge conviction, but conviction gets me in a lot of trouble 99% of the time. And I didn't want to be like so oversized that I didn't have any cash to buy the dip, because there are other things too that I will want to buy. Is Futu the hood of China? No. There are two: TIGR, Tiger, and FUTU are both little are both two Chinese brokerages. Let me see. I'm just pretty sure nothing. Yeah. And at the end of the day, like it was very much. I gotta do this because we can't see. There he goes. I'm pretty sure nothing matters on the markets. If you do fib since COVID, retrace. Yeah, right. So I think the whole market is just moving on speculation right now. What's true?
Yeah,
Yes. Victor, this is very true. I think this is important.
there you go.
What's true is that SPY rejected the NFP level that it needed to get over in order to say that we're going up. So what Victor's referring to is this blue line. And what I said on my Friday stream, the like impromptu stream, is that I expect, and best case scenario, is for SPY to actually chop for a little bit in this white box, literally right here. And that's so far what we're seeing. If it's over 565, yes, like I mean a full entire day trading well over 565. I think we start to go higher that moment. But for now, I think that we're done going lower, and this should be 555s down to 550, potentially your local lows right in here. And you can absolutely trade against that, in my opinion, for right now until something else changes. Does it mean we sell off? No, I don't think so. For Qs is very similar, right? So it's for Qs, the highs 482 right in here down to 465. This is your trading range, your box, literally right here. But until we're over these levels, we're not going higher, but I don't think that we're going lower either right now. The dip keeps dipping. Yeah. The thing is, you never really know, right? What do I think about Tesla? I like Tesla, but I know we'll go ahead and start looking at some of these charts. Can you guys hear the boy in the background? Miss Rachel has been teaching him how to like roar, and it doesn't really come out right.
Dinosaur.
You know? He's like, Tesla. So first look on Tesla, we got to do weekly. This is so number one, Tesla, if you're an options trader, is no good for long dated options yet, right? This type of move all the way up, I was looking at Tesla from a long dated options perspective. They were insanely overpriced. They're still insanely overpriced right here, right now. Tesla actually has a bit of a tendency to go sideways for a while. So that's what I would like to see. Tesla just go to the side, let this IV burn off for a bit. Then you can get interested in Tesla long dated stuff after that, but not until then. Again, weekly perspective, this is that broken downtrend right before we hit those all-time highs. I honestly, I don't hate this right around here. It can go a little bit lower. Is 225 is a little fair value gap from a weekly perspective. Yeah, we tagged that. Let's call this a session gap. Looks like that's filled. And I'm drilling in a little bit lower. Oh, that was an earnings gap. So earnings gap is filled for sure. This area right here is where all your liquidity sits, right? So for right now, I think that 220s or low 220s, like the teens hold. And if not, it could come down a little bit lower, but not much lower than that. That's how I see it on Tesla. So it's closer to the end than anything else, but it's possible that you get some downside. I don't know. It's gonna be like there could be some kind of headline that comes out, but I think you can just nibble, like buy and hold long term, but slowly. It's got to be very slowly and small, because in this area, it's still at risk of breaching 200. But what is that? $30 lower, sitting at 230. It's not horrible. Is there price discovery on SPY? Let's take a look. Oh yeah, there is. So what he's referencing here, Matt, is that there's a little bit of what we call like a megaphone or broadening formation. Nice catch, dude. Actually, pretty nice catch here. So what a broadening formation is, if you guys don't know, you've probably seen it before, is higher highs and lower lows at the same time. So yeah, what we don't want to see is we don't want to see SPY like hugging this downside line. That's no good. Usually it's like if you breach it and come back in, like we did here, breach, come back in twice. Now we want to see it hold, right? But what I will say is definitively it's 565 that we need to get over, which ends up being last Friday's low, right? So 565, spot 63 happens to be almost exactly yesterday's high, or today's high, I'm sorry. And that takes us to fill this box in very short order, like 10 points upside box in very short order. But yeah, so now at this point. Here's your broadening formation. You want to see it hold this area, and you want to see it start to slowly, at least some point this week, make its little like grind to the upside. Doesn't have to go straight away, but we see. Yeah, I mean, you bought some Tesla. Feels bad right now. I bought a couple shares too, not gonna lie. I mean, but it's slowly. Like I have a lot more I could buy, but no big deal. Get out of here, Victor. $100 dip on Tesla. I mean, that would be crazy. Yeah, I think Tesla's never going to trade. Look, if Tesla traded with like a car company's multiple, it would be like $50 or something stupid, right? But it could be. It doesn't trade like a car company. I think FSD is still going to be a huge deal. But this is where we are. I think we're done going down. I'm cautiously optimistic. I mean, okay, I'm actually optimistic. What I will do is I'm going to do a quick check on the internals. Let me see if I can pull this up. Have you guys been using these? I'm liking these. And I'll show you what I'm looking at right now. Kind of interesting. So let me just change this real quick. Equities, turn off. All right, so on the top right, I have SPY. On the bottom right, I have net volume flows, right? So net up volume minus down volume. So net volume. On the bottom left is something called advanced decline line. And this is, I need to go back a little bit more. I'm going to do 5-day, 5-minute on all these. There, now we're set. So what I'm going to look at here and what I think is actually pretty interesting is, so here's SPY. It's not really going up like crazy, but we are firmly holding yesterday's highs right now. And then if you look at the net flows right now, we're actually like going higher, like decently higher all day long, right? And so that's this bottom box on the right hand side. So net flows all day long going up and to the right like this. Do you guys see this? I think it's going to be important. Now, do you remember the day that marked the highs on SPY? It was the total opposite, right? On the day that marked the highs on SPY, and I might have to go a little bit further, maybe like 20-day. Yeah, so 20-day. So it was this day we got way high on SPY. This was like a Wednesday. It was this Wednesday. So net volume was downside, but the price action was up. Do you guys see this right here? So the price action was going up, but the volume, net volume, was down. And so this like opposite, like that showed, hey, look, this is not the time. We had a discrepancy, for sure, discrepancy. I'm gonna look at the rest of these. So that was on this Wednesday. Tick was mostly below. Interesting. Is that right? Tick mostly below the zero line, although price action higher. Whoa. So internals were screaming short, but price action, yeah, advanced decline, all below the zero. Internals were screaming short, but price action was going higher. That was like the biggest tell. And so as we come in here to today, if we have like a down day, I'm like, internals are kind of screaming long, right? So you look at this today, here's the tick, pretty much all over the zero line, advanced decliners all over the zero line. Everything from an internals perspective is telling me this is a net long. Price action, though, if it comes down today, is going to be saying something opposite. So I'm really interested to today to say, hey, look, does this does this actually act as it did the other day that told us that the high was in, that maybe this tells us that the low is in, even if price action isn't supporting it just yet. So that's very much what I'm looking at right now. You can look at Celsius weekly. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, if you guys want to look at some charts, we can right now. The boy's getting crazy, so just kind of chilling right now. There's nothing crazy that I want to jump out and buy out of the gate. We can look at SMCI right now.
What you just said is the whole problem with the entire market.
What's that?
The market's gone down, and it technically needs to bounce. There's a lot of factors that needs to bounce, but there's a lot of concern over the tariffs, and people can't model things out, so they're not wanting to stick their neck out a whole lot just yet either. So
Yeah,
that's kind of why you're seeing shorts covering, but you're not seeing a ton of just buying going on. We see a little bit Friday and into today, but you're just not seeing a ton of buying yet because people are like, we'll sit and wait and see what the big picture is actually going to do. And with that,
yeah.
I do have to go. Paper, appreciate you having me
Appreciate you, man.
as always.
Adios, brother. Yeah, I think the market is like, we can go sideways here, and I would be perfectly happy with that. So to my point, I'm not like chomping at the bit to buy anything crazy unless we see stuff at those local lows again, or maybe even just slightly breached. Like I would probably do that, but I would wait till the end of the day also. Do that. So SMCI, I'm not a buyer SMCI here. You guys can see this is a pretty clean, what we would call order block right here at 43.42. If it can get over that, cool. You have like a quick $5 to fill right before you're in a lot of trouble again. This is hard to say, but I might be. I'm not long SMCI. I would rather be short SMCI, but I might rather be short SMCI if we do get to that 48-ish level and fail. That would be a really good short to me. I'm not bearish or bullish on the company. So I have a little bit of a, what's the word? Maybe I'm biased here, but you have to hold literally right here to continue on for like a pretty solid, what we would call like bear flag, right? So right now, this is looking like your typical bear flag. But again, a lot of times if you do get that bear flag plays out like this and then to the downside. So I would not be long unless I saw this for a day trade over 43.5. And in that case, I think you get like to 46.5, maybe even up to 48. Who knows? But I would absolutely call it right there. I think this is going to be, so SMCI has some kind of presentation at GTC. I'm not really sure what that is going to be, but again, Jensen's keynote is coming out tomorrow, and that's going to be a big catalyst. NVIDIA, again, crucial. 123 is like, that's the big pivot, right? Like you guys should all know that at $123, that's a $3 trillion market cap. I think that's crucial. And I believe that's exactly where it failed today. So surprise, surprise, it should be no surprise if you've been following at all. $123 is the big pivot. At this point, it's more like, hey, can you see a higher low? But I think this goes sideways for a bit. It's NVIDIA of all of them actually bounced kind of probably the best into this catalyst so far. So not a big deal. 115s looks decent, but 123 is a huge pivot. Yeah, it has for sure. VST, Miguel's asking about VST. I haven't looked at that today. Let's take a look. I know XLE. Oh yeah, so VST looks pretty constructive. They have a little bit of a dividend coming up. Not that big of a deal. It's constructive like the rest of the market. I'd be long, but not like heavily long. 123, similar kind of price point here. Maybe a little bit higher, 125. So as long as it's holding this 116 and change would be your big pivot, but this looks like it can get up to around in this area here. 136s where you need to be really cautious. So that's your next kind of area, right into there. And you don't really know where it's going to go after that. So one step at a time for sure. A lot of volume, 122, I believe it. What do I think about SpaceX rescue mission? I think it's good. I was more concerned about it being really bad for Boeing, which by the way got to my like actual initial entry again. 146s still long Boeing, but yeah, it's kind of a rough one here. It was encouraging to see it bounce at 165, pulled all the way back to entry. But this is that area that I should be a buyer on Boeing, any of this anyways. I don't know if it's a big catalyst for it. It shouldn't be a thing for Tesla, but it could potentially be something for Boeing. Honestly, Boeing should be going down further. Still, I'd still say Boeing would be going down on reiterated headlines, but it's not. Yeah, I can do BABA. We're not going to do PDD because BABA has earnings or PDD has earnings. I swear I thought that it might just if you guys was it over the weekend announcement for China's stimulus, and I don't know what they did, so I'd have to look at that. From a technical perspective, it looks good, scary good, scary as in like it looks good, but it's also the kind of good that could go against you really fast. It's just a clean weekly flag, like bull flag breakout to the upside. Let me see what this would take you to. Oh yeah, but you're right into that. So 160s to 180s in that area. 166 to 180 would be the general trajectory of this over into earnings for May. We'll see if it holds. No, I don't do Zem. It's shipping small cap. Yeah, Baba's like one of the hardest ones to trade for sure. Yeah, I would assume Baidu is similar, but it's like textbook bull flag for sure. Oh, hang on. Somebody's knocking. I don't see her. Anyways, I'm gonna have to go soon, guys. I think somebody's here at the door. I don't know who it is, if it's Mama to pick up this kid or not. Oh yeah, hang on, one sec. She's here. But anyways, I got a jet, guys. That's it. I'll call it for now, just because family's at the house. We're not the house, at the office. Appreciate everybody's Sentinel one. Guys, I will be on with the tomorrow, Tuesday, for Technical Tuesday. We will see you guys all there. Sorry, we're a little bit all over the place today, but got the kid, got the fam, got busy. So I love you guys, and I will see you on the next one. Peace out.